I've mentioned this before, but I've been reading manhwa for several years now. I picked up my first manhwa freshman year of college. Someone had recommended it to me, and the rest was history. I never really had a fondness for reading, but manhwa changed that for me. Ever since that day, I've been reading manhwa after manhwa, and will probably continue to do so for maybe the rest of my life? Who knows? I've reviewed several manhwas now, from newcomers making it big, such as Omniscient Reader, to little gems like Cubera. So when I say that Solo Leveling is among my top favorites to read, I'm not playing around. If you haven't read Solo Leveling yet, you seriously need to. From the very moment I opened up the first episode, my life in manhwa changed drastically. It's like I leveled up. Pun intended. Seriously though, I've read hundreds of manhwa at this point, so it takes something truly special to catch my eye, and Solo Leveling does this perfectly. Solo Leveling is a manhwa adaptation illustrated by Gi So-ryung and Jang Sun-rak. It follows a completed series of light novels by the same name, written by Chu Gong. The story is as follows. 10 years ago, after the gate that connected the real world with the monster world opened, some of the ordinary, everyday people received the power to hunt monsters within the gate. They are known as hunters. However, not all hunters are powerful. The story follows a man named Sung Jin-woo, an E-rank hunter, the lowest rank a hunter can be, with a nasty nickname of being the world's weakest. Having no skills whatsoever to display, he barely earns any money to support his younger sister. One day, Sung Jin-woo enters a D-rank dungeon, only to find out that it's a double dungeon. However, all did not go according to plan, and as Sung Jin-woo accepted death, he was granted a strange power that allowed him to continuously level up, changing him from the world's weakest hunter to world's strongest. The thing that amazes me so much about Solo Leveling is that at its core, it's a very simple premise. It's nothing that I haven't read before, the plot is a familiar one. I've read stories like this so many times, and watched animes that follow the same design. But what's different about Solo Leveling is even though it's a familiar plot, it is so well executed. Week after week, I come back to read about Sung Jin-woo and I never get tired of it. His endless pursuit to be the world's strongest is an amazing read. Solo Leveling does have its faults here and there, and I know I get a lot of credit from you guys for saying some scenes in particular have certain inconsistencies. But you know what? I really don't care. The manhwa is far too outstanding for me to give a crap about the smaller inconsistencies it has from time to time. Honestly, you could make an entire chapter where Sung Jin-woo doesn't do anything but fight, and I would still eat that stuff up like candy on Christmas Day. Solo Leveling is so beautifully executed that I don't need an amazing plot or something so different. It works with the genre so well already. It doesn't need to be much to be badass. I would keep coming back to read for Sung Jin-woo and Sung Jin-woo alone. The writing is probably one of the weaker points in Solo Leveling, but keep in mind when I'm saying this, I'm expressing it as a comparison to my top 10 manhwa reads. The writing is by no means bad, it's just that there is so much going on with the artwork and action that the writing doesn't need to be all that amazing. It's a manhwa you read for its action and world building, and beautifully done artwork. It really doesn't need a lot. The writing for this story is pretty unoriginal, which is why I find it so amazing that even with its unoriginal concepts, it still pulls me in. If you pick up the manhwa, you best prepare for a ride. This particular experience isn't about the writing, it's about the action accompanied by its beautiful art. The art. My word, the art. Gi So-ryung is the person behind this amazing work of art. The plot isn't what sets the story apart from others, it's the artwork. I give a serious hats off to them. This story wouldn't be half as good as it is without the artwork. The artwork is what makes this story. Sometimes, I forget that I'm even reading a manhwa. and feel like I'm watching a show play out right before my eyes. That's how incredible this artwork is! From the detailed cityscapes to the extremely vivid action scenes, you are not left wanting. I actually really like the world building in Solo Leveling. You're introduced right off the bat about hunters and dungeons, and the thing with Solo Leveling is, it's very easy to understand. The world building is built slowly over time, which I much prefer to fast-paced worlds. You grow with Sung Jinwoo, instead of learning things secondhand. Sung Jinwoo gains a skill, you learn what it is and how it's used. Sung Jinwoo needs new items, you learn what that looks like to buy and sell items. The world continuously builds upon itself, which makes the learning experience fresh and fun. Solo Leveling deserves many more praises than I can even fathom to give it. Season 1 was so well done, and honestly, I found it pretty difficult to find other manhwas to get into since reading Solo Leveling. It does all the correct things, and despite the plot lacking here and there, it's far too good to give it anything less than a 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye!